I have had some messed up friendships in the past, and I have definitely learned my lessons from them. And as we all know, the type of friends you have in life and you surround yourself with has a big impact on how successful you can become as a person. So today I decided to do some blind reactions together to 5 videos I'm going to choose from TikTok and see what people have to say about red flags in friendships. After each video, I'm going to share my perspective and my opinion about what these people have to say and if I agree or disagree with them. Also, don't forget to share what you think about these videos down in the comments. I would love to know. Ready? Let's go. Red flags in friendships.
Okay, so
let's start with this one.
Edition.
Let's talk about friendship red flags that you should never ignore. I've had my fair share of toxic friends, okay? So I'm gonna tell you guys things I wish I knew sooner. Number 1 is if they're more negative than they are positive. The energy you surround yourself with is the energy that you're gonna give off yourself. So if you're surrounding yourself with people who always complain or always see the negative, you're not gonna be happy because they will rub off on you. Number 2 is the friends that will try to make you look bad in front of other people. Like, yeah, people can make fun of each other. I think that's fun and fresh. But if your friend is doing that in front of other people to make you look bad, or you feel like they're trying to embarrass you on purpose, that's not a good sign. Your friend should want to make you look good and hype you up. This last one is so important because I didn't realize this till later, but you know how some friends you feel like you have to walk on eggshells around them? That's not normal. If you're friends with someone and you feel like you have to constantly please them and do things to make them happy and you're just kind of nervous to do the wrong thing or make them mad at you, that is a red flag and you deserve so much better than that. That's not normal.
Okay, the first thing she said was about how friends shouldn't really be too negative, or if they're more negative than they are positive. I do agree with her, to a certain point. I have actually posted a video about this on my TikTok regarding the fact that if you have a friend that when they call you up, they're always complaining, don't walk my friend, run away. I have said that. But recently I came across this page of a book when I was reading it, and it was explaining how certain people actually use negative things to talk about because they don't know how else they can connect with you or other ways of connecting with you. So they may start gossiping about this certain person that you both know because maybe that's the only thing that they see you guys have in common that they can talk about. Certain people just haven't learned how to connect with other human beings in a better way or in a more positive way. That's why they choose the negative side of things. Another one she said was, oh, well, they shouldn't really make fun of you, especially in front of other people. I also do agree with her. I don't think anybody should make fun of you in general. There's a difference when people are making fun of you or they are laughing at something about you together. There is a difference when people laugh at you or you guys are laughing together. Don't get those two things mixed up. So yes, I believe that they shouldn't make fun of you, and especially if you guys have an inside joke that you wouldn't want other people to know about them, or they wouldn't want other people to know about them. You need to be careful with that and make sure that you guys have those conversations. But if you guys do mess up, make sure you have a conversation together and let each other know that, hey, I'm okay with this, or no, I'm not okay with this. I think a lot of 80%, 90% of friendship issues or friendship problems comes from the fact that people are not willing to confront each other about what they like and what they don't like. A lot of people run away from confrontation, and that does cause issues in your friendships or relationships. Overall, I think this video was good, but let's go to another one.
Red flags, friendship edition. The first one is friends that always copy you. There's a difference between drawing inspiration and straight up copying everything somebody does. It's annoying for the person being copied, and it also just shows deeper insecurity and self-confidence issues. The second is friends that always agree with you. Personally, I like having dialogue with my friends, and if somebody's always agreeing with me, I think they just don't have a personality. I also want friends to challenge you to think differently and grow. And third is friends that never invite you to do things with their social groups. I totally support the idea of having different social groups. But if you're always inviting this person to come to things with your friends and introducing them to new people and they never do it back, it's a red flag in my opinion.
Red flags, friendship edition.
Ooh, I like the last one. Let's talk about the last one first. So I do also agree with that. I feel like I've done that in my friendships where I would introduce my friend to my other circle group of friends, but that friend didn't really do it for me as well. It was almost like this person just wanted to network and make friendships or become friends with my friends, but didn't want to do the same. I also do agree that it's good for you to have certain different groups of friendships. Like, the way I want to explain it to you is this: not every friend that you know is going to be liking everything you want to do is going to be up for it. Like there's certain friends that you might only end up working out with. There's certain friends that you may only end up having fun with. But then there's another group of friends that you might have, or maybe even one, that you would want to build with, you would want to work hard with, you would want to hustle with. And I think those friendships are the best friendships. Another thing she mentioned was the fact that if someone copies you, and I've heard crazy, like creepy stories from other girls on Instagram or TikTok talking about how their friend was copying them to a point where she was literally trying to take over their boyfriend. I think that's crazy. I think that's insane. I think there needs to be some sort of boundary set. Like me growing up specifically, I never liked other people copying my style. Like I always wanted to look different because that's just how I am. I wanna look different. I wanna be looking unique and just different. And if somebody wanted to copy me all the damn time, then I would get annoyed, and I don't think that's okay. It's okay for you guys to choose to do certain outfits, like certain matching outfits together some days, but somebody copying you all the damn time is not a good sign. Sometimes it even gets to a point where the person is trying to be literally you. And I think that person actually lacks personality and they don't really know who they are. So they rather become other people that are being liked by most of the majority of people around them. Another one she said was friends that always agree with you. And I agree with that too, because I feel like if I'm gonna tell you everything, like if I'm telling you something and I need your feedback, I don't want you to be always agreeing with me. I'm okay with you having conflict with me. I'm okay with you disagreeing with me. And I think sometimes people don't speak out their own opinion just because they're afraid that it would create conflict, or they're afraid that you wouldn't like them because of that anymore. And that comes from people that are insecure about certain things about themselves. So I don't think you should like really just push them to the side, but I think you should talk to them about it. Be like, hey, when I'm telling you this thing and that thing, I want you to know that it's okay for you to share with me what you think of it. I don't want you to always agree with me, and I'm okay with you to disagree with me about certain things, because we're both two different human beings. Like there's no way we could always agree about everything in our lives. So I think if you have that type of a friend, don't look at it really as a red flag, but I would say look at it as a way of how you can also help them grow as a person. And is there any way you could help them change that or improve it? Now, certain people are going to become defensive about it and they're not liking what you're going to tell them. Those people, if they don't want to make changes in who they are and they don't want to improve, that I will call a red flag. Because you want to be surrounded with friends that would want to improve and become the best versions of themselves, just like how you're trying to be. Okay, I believe this is going to be the third video watching together. Let's do this.
Red flags in a friendship. Hi, hello, it's Anne. Let's go. 1 gets mad at you when you need time for yourself. 2 gets upset when you hang out with other people. 3, it's when they're extremely bossy. And 4, it's when everything is on their schedule. If they are busy, they're busy and that's it. There's no compromising. But when you're busy, it's horrible. It's the worst thing in the world when they want to hang out with you and you're busy and they're not understanding about that.
Okay, what was the first one? She said, if you want to take time to yourself, they wouldn't like it. This is a big one because this is what I'm going to tell you. Some friends think that just because you have free time, you should spend time with them. No, that's not how we do it in this bestie. This is not how this is going to work. Like, as a person, just becoming more of an adult, becoming more mature, I'm realizing that there's certain times in my life where I don't want to see anyone's face. Like, I don't want to see, oh, I love you, bestie, but I don't feel like I don't want to spend time with you right now. And it's nothing to do with you, but everything to do with me, because as humans, sometimes we need times to ourselves to recharge our battery. Does that make sense? So if someone gets angry at me for telling them that, hey, I'm gonna need some space today, I'm gonna take some time to myself and focus on this and that, and you're gonna get offended, that's not my problem. So yes, I agree with her. I think that's so important, and I think that's one of the boundaries you need to set with your friends. But hello, if you've been the type of friend that has never talked about this to your friend and you expect them to understand you, then you're wrong. Because everything is about communications. Everything is about making sure you're setting up that expectation or you're setting up that boundary for your friend. These boundaries don't just appear in your friendship or your relationship out of nowhere. You have to set them. Another one she said was the fact that, oh, they get angry if you hang out with other people. I've had this experience. When I used to be back in high school, I had literally 2 of my friends fighting over me. for the fact that, oh, you're spending more time with her and you're spending more time with her. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not spending time with nobody. Like literally, I had to step out and be like, okay, stop. I'm not gonna come talking to you. I'm not gonna spend my break time with you. I'm just gonna go on my own because this is not right. I can put time as much as I can for you and sometimes together. And you guys should be okay with that because I'm just one human being. I cannot be in two places at the same time. So I think it's important for your friend to understand. And now, hear me out. I don't think it's necessarily a red flag. I think some of these things these girls are talking about can be very extreme, calling it a red flag. I think you gotta understand where people come from. This is why I've been so always fascinated about how human psychology works and why people do the things they do, or why they show the behaviors they show, and where does it come from. And what I understand from this is if somebody is being jealous of you spending time with your other friends and not them, it's because they're insecure, okay? Hear me out. They're insecure for the fact that they think, oh, if you're spending time with your other friends and not them right now, that means you're not prioritizing them. That means they're not important. That means you're gonna forget them. That means you don't love them enough. That means you don't care enough. And you wanna sometimes give those assurances. You know how in our relationship, sometimes we need certain assurances in our relationship from our partner to let us know that, hey, I love you. Hey, I'm here for you. Hey, I understand you're going through this. I'm here, I'm by your side, we're gonna figure this together, figure this out together. Or when they tell you about the future vision and they tell you about how things are gonna work out or how things are gonna look like, and they wanna make sure they're letting you know that, hey, there is a future. I'm not just here for fun. I'm not just here just to spend time with you. I'm looking forward to a future with you. You know how we need those assurances in our relationship? I believe sometimes we need those assurances in our friendships. You don't know what those people have gone through. I have dealt with friends, I have come across people that have had bad friendships, friends that have lied to them, betrayed them, took advantage of them from so many different ways. And I have literally heard stories from some of my friends. So I'm gonna just tell you a story. Let's say we have Miranda and we have Sam. Miranda is my friend, and Miranda used to be friends with Sam. Now, Sam and Miranda being friends, at certain point of their life, Sam completely forgot about Miranda and ended up with new friends and didn't want to spend time with Miranda anymore. Now, if I ended up becoming friends with Miranda and she has had this bad experience before where she lost her friend just because she decided to spend time with other groups of people, she's been hurt. So if I'm going to be friends with her and I'm going to do the same thing to her where I'm going to end up spending time with my other friends and now her, she's going to be like, oh, she doesn't like me. She doesn't care for me. She's going to also leave me just like Sam. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Like certain people you come across with, especially if you want to have deep friendships. I'm not talking about service level friendships, but deep friendships. Certain people might have had bad experiences and they have certain wounds. And I'm not saying it's your responsibility to fix it. No, it's their responsibility to work on it and improve it. But as a responsibility for you or as a favor, you're just gonna be patient with them. You're just gonna communicate with them. So don't see it as a red flag. I'm not gonna say everything that I'm hearing on these videos are really a red flag, like a big red flag. But I would say it's certain things that you should be cautious with and pay attention to. But also talk to your friends about it. For example, if a friend does any of these red flags with me, I'm not gonna be like, okay, done. I'm not gonna be friends with you anymore. I'm gonna dump you. No, I'm gonna talk to you about it. And if you're willing to work on this with me, cool, we got this. But if you're not, if you wanna be stubborn, if you feel like you're better than me, if you feel like you're not doing anything wrong, see ya. Adios, amigos.
Can you talk about red flags in friends and how to leave them? Yes, I can. 1, if they start inviting you to shit like less and less, that's their time to go. Biggest one, but a lot of friends put up with this, is if they talk shit about you behind your back. I don't know how people put up with that one. If I found out that like any of my friends are talking shit about me, I would go like ballistic. Like now I'm gonna shit talk you but to your face. I turned on my light because like that lighting was not the move. This one's gonna sound rude, but if like they're just talking about their own problems but don't even like listen to yours, like you're not anybody's therapist. Like that's why I go to therapy, to talk about my problems, but like I let people talk about theirs to me. Like I'm not just like, it's all about me, even though it may seem like that. You know, there's this thing called compassion that I actually have. Or if they start like talking to someone that you've in the past talked to, and don't ask you about it, no. But that's if you're like best friends with them. If you're like barely friends with them, that shit don't matter. But how you get rid of them, okay? This is the part that everybody needs to listen to. How you move them from the inner circle to the outer circle. You don't respond to their calls. That one's a little common sense.
Okay. Well, let's go one by one. So the first thing she said is if they start inviting you to, you know, things less and less. I don't see that as a red flag. I mean, you know, certain times in your friendships with people, you might kind of drift apart for a phase of your life. Like, there's certain friends that I drifted apart a year ago, 2 years ago, and now we're friends again, and we're there for each other, and we talk to each other, and we check in with each other. And I think there's anything wrong with that. Like, if you see your friend not inviting you to things, first of all, why are you expecting that? Like, why are you expecting them to invite you to everything? There must be a reason why they don't. Maybe they don't think you would be a good match for this circle of friends, and maybe they would think that you would feel left out. Like, I'm Persian, okay? There's certain friends of groups that I have that they only speak Persian, or they choose to speak Persian with me because that's what we're more comfortable with. So if I bring a friend into that group always, all the time, and she sees us always talking, you know, in Farsi, and we just keep, you know, doing it over and over, I just feel like that person is feeling left out. And obviously sometimes you just want to speak in your own language. Like, you can't always speak, you know, English if you know that your friend can also speak your own language all the damn time just for other people. So if sometimes I'm gonna go and hang out with this Persian friends of mine, and I'm not gonna bring in my other friend who can speak Farsi, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, why would that be a red flag? I'm doing it for your own good. Does that make sense? Again, this might bring up some perspectives or opinions from other people, and they might disagree with me, but I said what I said. This girl also is funny. Like, the attitude she has is funny.
They seem like that. You know, and I'm not just like, it's irrelevant.
Another one she said is the fact that, oh, if they become friends, or like, let's say for example, you had an ex and your friend decides to date that ex, and that's wrong. I don't know about that, because it's like, I'm still trying to put my, you know, wrap my thoughts around it. What if your friend and that ex of yours could actually end up becoming the best partners for each other? What if they could be the best match? Just because you didn't work out with that guy, it doesn't mean your friend wouldn't. Now, if the guy was abusive and wasn't a good guy, or cheated on you, or betrayed you, or hurt you in some ways, then yeah, maybe it's not a good idea for your friend, bestie or not, to be friends with that guy. But if this guy and you decided that, you know what, this is just not just the right match, you know, we shouldn't be doing this, and you drifted apart, and your friend ends up meeting that guy one way or another, like, what if your friend didn't know that this was your ex even before? Because that has happened to me. So why would you want to judge them like that? I would say that that's a red flag. Even if they knew, but should they talk to you about it and ask for your blessings? I mean, you didn't own the guy. I don't know, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Everybody I'm not saying she's wrong. She might be right the way she thinks she is, but I'm saying this is my opinion. I'm sharing it freely. Let's listen to the rest of it.
The part that everybody needs to listen to. How you move them from the inner circle to the outer circle. You don't respond to their calls. That one's a little common sense. You stop responding as much. You don't tell them anything about your life anymore. You start hanging out with new people. Make yourself also more busy. Like, find activities.
Can I stop this for a second? I don't agree with her. Don't respond to their calls. Don't hang out with them anymore. What if you haven't had any initial conversation? What if you haven't ever confronted them about it? What if you haven't ever let them know that you're not okay with these certain things? That's unfair. That's what ghosting. And I would never want to ghost someone. Like, I hate ghosting people. And that's why I'm always bold enough to let the person know why I don't want to be friends with them anymore. or why I don't think this is working. But ghosting them, it's not okay, because ghosting can actually hurt people. I wouldn't even want to do that for my enemies. So please, if you have a problem with someone, if you see something as a red flag, just let the person know, just talk to them, okay? And if they're being abusive or aggressive with you or defensive or offended, then yes, then that's when you know what? I don't want to do this. I don't want to be friends with you. I'm okay with being on my own, having my other friends. Cool, have a nice day, see ya. That's okay. But to not do any initial communication and just like say bye-bye and just ignore the person, I don't think it's the nicest thing to do, because would you want to do that? Would you want somebody to do that to you? As they always say, don't do to others what you wouldn't like them to do to you. Does that make sense?
You don't tell them anything about your life anymore.
Now this one I agree. If you're friends with someone and you feel like you can't really trust them, or you feel like they're just not your tribe, don't share everything with everyone. First of all, like, not everybody needs to know everything that is happening in your life second by second. Not everybody needs to know that, okay? You gotta understand that there's certain people in your life that you're gonna tell them certain things, and there are certain people in your life that you're just friends with. Now, being an acquaintance or a friend, it's two different things, and I feel like sometimes we end up making everybody our besties, and that's wrong. And I've done that, okay? I used to think that everybody should be my best friend. And I used to think that I need to have more than one best friend. Like, there's certain phases of your life that you're just gonna be able to connect with only one person, and that's okay. And everybody else just ends up being, let's say, acquaintance. That's okay. Like, that is okay.
Start hanging out with new people. Make your...
Well, yeah, if you don't have a lot of friends, or you feel like, okay, you were a friend with this person for so long and they're not allowing you to be friends with other people, then yes, go become friends with other people as well. Go find new friends. But also communicate this with them. Like, let them know. I'm gonna keep going back to this, but communication is the most important thing. If you want to become successful in your life, doesn't matter in what, in your friendships, relationship, business, leadership, whatever it might be, communicate with people. Talk to them. Communication. Okay? God has given us the ability to talk and communicate for a reason. God has given us a brain to use to know how to talk with certain people. In what way? You cannot talk the same way with everybody. Does that make sense? But I do believe that that was the last video of the day. So yes, I'm not gonna say that I don't agree with these things that people are pointing out, these girls are pointing out on TikTok, but at the same time, I wouldn't say I called them all a red flag. I would say sometimes there are certain things that you should pay attention to, but it's not like a no-no. Or not, it's not like, oh, you should avoid this at all times. Most importantly, just talk to people and see where it goes. If you want to have good friendships, you gotta make sure that you communicate with them, and you also ask them to communicate with you. And if they're not willing to do that, then there's no reason or point of a friendship. But other than that, my loves, I want you to let me know what you thought of this video, and if you found it helpful in any way, and if you agree with any of the things I said, let me know in the comments. And also let me know if you would want me to make videos like this in the future as well, and give me some topics that you would want me to make these videos about. I wish you an amazing day. Until later, bye!
Could be a dream, sweetheart.